Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to break down the science of nutrition. We're talking about the fundamental components that literally build and power your body every single day.
It seems like a simple question, right? But the answer is actually pretty complex. Beyond just tasting good and filling you up, the food you eat provides the essential parts needed to run this incredible, intricate machine that is your body. It's your fuel, it's your building material, and it's your instruction manual all rolled into one.
Okay, so the easiest way to get your head around this is to think of nutrition in two big categories. First, you've got your macronutrients. Think of these as the fuel and the bricks. They give you energy and the raw materials to build things. Then you have the micronutrients. These are like the spark plugs and the tools that make all the complex work inside you actually happen.
All right, let's dive right in, starting with the big picture, the macronutrients. We call them the big three because your body needs them in pretty large amounts, and for a very good reason.
It's right there in the name, right? Macro means large. These guys are the heavy lifters of your diet. They're the only things that give you calories, which are just units of energy that fuel literally everything you do, from breathing to running a marathon.
First up, protein. Seriously, if you think of your body as a massive construction project, protein is pretty much all of your building materials. The bricks, the steel, the mortar, you name it. It's made up of these smaller things called amino acids, and they're used for a just staggering number of jobs in your body.
And this is what I find so cool. We always hear protein from muscles, right? But it's so much more than that. It's essential for creating the enzymes that drive chemical reactions, the hormones that send signals all through your body, and even the antibodies that help you fight off infections. It's a real jack of all trades.
Okay, next on the list, carbohydrates. If protein is the building material, then carbs are your high-octane fuel. They're the body's favorite, most easily accessible source of energy, especially for your brain, which, by the way, is an absolute energy hog.
So the crucial point here isn't about carbs being good or bad, it's that the quality matters a lot. Those unprocessed, fiber-rich sources you see here, they're a completely different animal than, say, a spoonful of sugar. It's not just about the fiber, it's that they deliver that energy as part of a whole package deal, with vitamins and minerals all working together.
And that brings us to our final macronutrient, fat. Now, fats pack a serious punch. They're the most energy-dense nutrient we have. They act as your body's long-term energy savings account, but they also do a ton of other critical jobs, like making hormones, cushioning your organs, and helping you absorb certain vitamins.
But yeah, just like with carbs, it's not that simple. This slide really lays it out. Not all fats are created equal, not by a long shot. On one side, you've got your heart-healthy heroes, the kinds you find in avocados and nuts. On the other side, you've got the usual suspects found in a lot of processed and fried foods, which can cause problems for your heart health.
All right, so let's shift gears a bit. We've covered the big stuff, the fuel and the bricks, but now we need to talk about the smaller, but just as vital, components, the micronutrients. We've built a house and turned on the power, now we need the specialized workers to make sure everything actually runs.
The name says it all. Micro means small, and your body only needs these in really tiny amounts. But listen, don't let that micro fool you. Think of these as the tiny but incredibly powerful tools and spark plugs that kickstart thousands of chemical reactions, making the whole machine work the way it's supposed to.
So we can basically split these little helpers into two teams. You've got vitamins, which are organic, meaning they're made by living things like plants and animals. Then you've got minerals, which are inorganic. They come from the earth, the soil and water, and then they get absorbed by plants or eaten by animals.
And just take a look at this table. It gives you a perfect snapshot of what we're talking about. Look at this lineup. You've got iron, a mineral that's literally in charge of carrying oxygen through your blood, and then you have vitamin C, which acts like a personal bodyguard for your cells. Each one has a very specific, very critical job that no other nutrient can do.
So, we've got the bricks, we've got the fuel, and we've got the tools. The big question is, how do we actually put it all together? How do we find that healthy balance to make sure our bodies are running at their absolute best?
Now, there are official guidelines out there, but it's really important to know what they actually mean. Take this number for protein, the recommended daily allowance. This isn't the perfect target for everybody. It's the bare minimum you need to avoid getting sick. An athlete, an older person, someone recovering from an injury, they're going to need way more than this to help their body repair and rebuild. So it's best to think of this number as the starting line, not the finish line.
So what does this look like in the real world? Well, this list from the Heart Foundation gives us some really great actionable steps. And notice, these aren't huge, scary changes.
We're talking about smart swaps, like using avocado instead of butter, or making sure to get some seafood in a couple of times a week. These little things can add up and make a huge difference.
And this really brings us to what might be the single most important idea of all, the whole food philosophy. The fact is, nutrients work best together in their natural state. Remember what we said about whole carbs being a complete package? That's the big idea here. Scientists call it the food matrix. An apple is so much more than just some vitamin C and fiber. It's a complex web of compounds all working together. And that's why getting your nutrients from real food is almost always better than from a pill.
And this quote from the NCBI just nails it. A healthy diet isn't about getting obsessed with one single nutrient. It's about the big picture, about a whole pattern of eating that relies on a variety of real, nutrient-packed foods.
So as you think about your next meal, I want to leave you with this question. Are you just putting calories on your plate, a random pile of parts? Or are you actually assembling a complete toolkit, equipping your body with every single brick, every bit of fuel, and every spark plug it needs to not just get by but to truly thrive?